Yeah.
Can we start to talk about the chaotic traffic on Lekki Ekpe? Let's start with that.
Wait. What happened to Coastal Road?
So some of us, because where we're coming from is not from, like it will be a longer journey to navigate the coastal highway.
Yeah.
I want to really extend my heartfelt sympathy to those who live on along the Lekki Ekpe axis towards from Lekki to Ikate. May the odds forever be in your favor. May the force be with you and God strengthen you. Because the traffic that we're experiencing, it's almost this morning, trying to come out to get to the express. I came out from one stop, that road was blocked. We had to go back inside, go past another back road. Came out by the second stop, blocked, go back inside, past another back. So these days, it's almost like we're doing WhatsApp groups. I have to go to the estate group and be like, hello, people who went out this morning, please, have they opened this part of the road? Have they opened that part of the road? How do we get to a point
where... Are there clear directions on alternative routes?
No.
So you just...
Wing it.
You're playing...
You and the blood of Jesus.
Yes.
So can we get to the point where... And I applaud the government for the repairs, because I look on the other side of the road, and the road looks sparkling, brand new tear rubber. I love it.
Are there markings, though?
No markings.
No, not that I know of.
So they need to do markings.
Yeah. So the question is, how do we get to that point where road repairs can happen, but not at the detriment of movement? Lagos is a mega city. People need to move. Traffic is the bane of our existence, and it's worse when repairs are happening.
You know, when you spend long hours in traffic, it has effects, long-term effects on the quality of your life.
It does.
And health.
It does. Maybe that's part of why I'm slow, because I'm really, really exhausted today from sitting in traffic and then trying to navigate my way back to the express. So I'm hoping that these repairs can happen quick and soon, or maybe we should have done it the government had a plan of doing it in 64 days. So maybe part of why we're experiencing this is because they're trying to do so much in that time, and maybe that's not a lot of time. I don't know.
They wanted to do it during this 30 December. You raised...
that would have been chaos.
And now, if they are done in December,
all I can say...
1.2 million people visiting 30 December, according to Rina Omokri. And then imagine that happening.
All I can say from my end, it's going to be tough, but let's just manage. It's for the good.
Why will you tell me to manage? Is my name Yakubu?
You know, manage. Yakubu, manage. It will seem like you want to die, but you will not die. Just
actually have to do that for those in traffic. Yakubu, manage.
It's really tough.
Okay, let's get into the conversations.
Very interesting conversations. I mean, Benga talked about Donald Trump already. That's a conversation we're going to look into.
A very unusual defection.
Yes.
Very, very unusual.
Yes, Timmy Sylvia.
A former governor of Bayelsa, Seriake Dickson.
Okay, Seriake Dickson.
Timmy Silva is wanted, by the way.
Okay.
And still overseas.
Yeah, I mean, that's
very unusual. When people defect, they go, there's this very popular party that they go to, but he's going to an unknown party. NDC. What is that?
Anyway, let's give them that story very quickly. A controversy is actually unfolding in Rivers State. This time, as the chairman of Umuahua, local government area, has denied allegations of assault made by a young woman, Gift Ogadinma. If you recall, we follow this story extensively. Who's Gift? Well, Gift actually made a viral video recently that drew national attention to the poor state of public school in the area. Ogadinma had earlier claimed she was harassed by the council chairman after speaking out about the situation, sparking widespread reactions online. However, the council boss has now debunked the allegations, insisting the claims are false and that the encounter has been misrepresented. Well, he maintains that at no point did he assault or intimidate the young woman, stressing that his administration remains committed to addressing infrastructural challenges, including improving schools within the local government. The incident has continued to generate debate, with many Nigerians calling for greater clarity and accountability over the matter. Well, the video you see there on the screen are just snippets of what Ogadinma had done while she walked into the schools, talked about them, and looked at the generated situation of classes and so on. But it seems the LGA didn't like it, so he came out to debunk the entire situation. Binga.
Yeah, and our correspondent, Biola Festus, did reach out to him. He declined to speak on camera. So we gave him the opportunity to say his own side of the story. He didn't. Maybe what he means is it's factually did not assault her.
But he has gone ahead to do another video. And in this video that's posted on a social media blog, he then explains that he didn't assault her, that he went to, I think he went to have a conversation with her, him and his brother, that why would she refer to them as thugs coming to have a conversation? That was him, his brother, their leader, their family leader or something. He mentioned a number of people that they got there, and while they were having a conversation with her mom, so I think she's meant to be his aide, and he was asking her to step down so that the vacancy can be, because it's not a good look. She's supposed to be his aide, and those kind of videos are being made without his permission, misrepresenting the government in some sense. But that she started insulting him, and every time they tried to caution her and tell her to keep quiet or whatever, she multiplied the force.
Increased the level of the insult.
The decibel of her voice. And that the younger brother got upset and said, you know, you are talking to the local government chairman of this one, that one. And then the girl still kept talking, and the younger brother pushed her. That he's not excusing the action of the younger brother to push her.
He's on the local government chairman's younger brother.
It's his brother that pushed her. And that in the course of pushing, when she fell, whether her teeth hit her mouth, I wish you could play that video, but whether her teeth hit her mouth or something, so that's his explanation. That so it's not that they directly assaulted her. They pushed her, and in the course of her falling, her mouth and her teeth got into a fight.
Does he know that is assault?
No, I don't think they know.
Or he thinks before the law, pushing is, you know, is nothing. It's really terrible. But I hope law enforcement will step in.
So the question is,
So
the question is, one, in what capacity? First of all, who gave him rights to lay his hands on another person? Right? In the moment when his brother laid his hands on the girl, what did he do to her? He forgets that as he's gone with his brother and these other people, actions that they will take, if he doesn't outrightly forbid it, it will be interpreted as him endorsing it. They were fighting for him. That, oh, he's the local government chairman.
And they even affirmed it vocally.
And then they pushed her. Pushing somebody, if you feel that somebody is disrespecting you, the next thing to do is speak your things and walk away. Walk away from them. And it's always the people that when they see their fellow men insulting them, that will not have the liver to do anything, that will be pushing young girls. And this is not to say that it's okay for her to insult anybody. But yes, there's something called defamation. If somebody is insulting you and saying things that are untrue about you, we need to see more people going to jail for defamation. We need to see more people taken to court. Take them to court. Let them have their day in court. Let them go to jail. If people knew that actions had consequences and spoken words that are untrue had consequences, then they will be able to handle things differently. So if they verbally assaulted you, take them to court. Replying with physical assault is not in any way permissible. So at the end of the day, this will still fall back on his table. And we have this spirit or this bad behavior in Nigeria. When this one thing happens, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Who really are you? Who is you? How do you form? Who exists you? We need to let this thing go. This unnecessary desire to feel important. You are breaking the law. They catch you. Your first response is, do you know who I am? You are doing something inappropriate. Who are you?
So I hope lessons will be learned from this episode. And I hope at least law enforcement will caution or take the necessary actions against the brother of the local government chairman, since he has come out to say he wasn't the one that expressly assaulted her. It's really sad.
Brother.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah, so the brother has committed a crime. So...
But another angle we need to look at this is, we need to look at where this stemmed from. One, why I still have a little misunderstanding about the story is that we are trying to get Ogadinma to also join us here on the show, but I guess her timing and our ability to ensure that we have her on the show has not been favorable. She said she used to work for the local government chairman before. Okay? So there's some form of familiarity. And that's why I come in to say, if you used to work with him before, why didn't you highlight these issues about the poor state of the schools within that local government area so he could fix it. Well, others have said that she may have done that, but there was complete ignorance. And she's not a teenager. That's what our reporter who joined us, Bella Festus, who's following the story, told us, that she's actually taking a master's program, you know, and she's not a teenager. But the point I want to highlight, aside from that, is talking to the, in quotes, politicians. It is obvious that before politicians get into office, they are wool. They are sheep, rather. They are sheep. They become a sheep. They are, you know, kind. They are meek, and so on. But as soon as they emerge and sit on that chair, they become wool. Wolverine. They tear anything they can tear to pieces. Their ears all of a sudden become blocked.
They are not accessible anymore.
They are not accessible anymore. I mean, this is not governor of Akwa Ibom State to say, am I a receptionist? Why are you trying to call me? I don't pick my calls. Am I a receptionist? But then again, let's leave that. But the point is, they become less accessible. You can no longer access them. And the bigger problem is, they now have gigantic, or you could say,
egos,
immeasurable egos and powers that they feel, if you talk to me anyhow, I can take you out. And that problem is systemic. And why do I say so? If you go to the UK, the United Kingdom, that Nigerians love to go to, even the so-called politicians love to go to, and of course have their wealth there, in quotes, build houses, buy houses, you know, maybe on taxpayers' money, we do not know at times. These people in the UK Parliament are so accessible that you see them on the streets, you even talk to them, you see them in the trains, the buses, name them. They understand that they are there. It's a call to serve. It's service. But in Nigeria, it is not a call to service. In Nigeria, it is my turn to show my power.
It's my turn to oppress.
Power.
I mean, my final take in this episode is, no one is perfect. If you've done something wrong, hands up, both hands.
Don't catch me.
Exactly. Put up a proper statement that in the heat of the moment, he got excited, pushed her, we're sorry, we regret that action, we'll find ways to compensate her, look for alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, instead of this blatant denial or trying, you're taking Nigerians for a ride where that explanation didn't hold any water by saying when the insult got, then he lost this. Why are you a human being? That's what separates us from animals. The reason, the ability to reason and look at situations before taking actions. And what the younger brother of the local government chairman did was uncalled for. And
to be honest, I don't even know.
There should be some level of punitive measure for doing that. So lessons are learned.
Different accounts of this story. The local government chairman has his own account. Ogadinma has her own account. And people have started to point inconsistencies in both stories. But I think the one thing that easily stands out is, if you had an issue with Ogadinma and in the way she put up the post, why really did he feel the need to go to her house to have a conversation? This conversation could have been had via a phone call. If she served as an aide, invite her to the office, have a conversation with her in a public professional setting. Why the need to go to her home with some men? That reeks of of intimidation and power play, and a way of showing that superiority in some sense. If any of us here had an issue with our boss will not address it by coming to our individual houses, and tell you, Joe, I'm coming to have the conversation with you in your house. No, that's not how it's done. You invite her to the office, you make it official, because the moment you decide to take it to her house, you made it a personal matter. And it no longer was about what the issue was again, and it no longer was just between you and Ogadinma Uchechi. Let's get your reactions. We're streaming live on YouTube. If you've been following the story, let us know what you think. YouTube, New Central TV Live is where we're streaming. We'll take comments from YouTube, and then we will head on to X. No, let's take from X, and then we'll come to YouTube. All right? So our first comment on X.
Well, this one says, do you know...
Nigerians! Start with Nigerians.
Nigerians! Do you know why I am executive chairman? That is how the video started. But power opposition does not give anyone the right to intimidate or assault a citizen. Your younger brother allegedly pushed her and she injured herself. That is not acceptable. Executive Chairman, please take it easy. Since you say she is your family, the right thing to do is simple. Go back, apologize to her, reassure her that nothing will happen to her or her family. Also, liaise with the state government and fix that school.
Exactly.
The school clearly needs urgent attention. Advocacy was for a positive impact, not confrontation. And that's true. I mean, if you need to see the walls.
For an oil-producing state, absolutely disgraceful.
And so on.
Yeah.
And you say it's anyway. Cheesy Vincent says, it was me, my driver, my brother, and a few others. Who are the few others? You will do jail first. Well, we hope that applies in Nigeria. If it does, that will be, Nigerians would heave a sigh of relief to know that even wolves can be locked up.
That no one is above the law.
No one is above the law. Everybody. It doesn't matter if you are gentle, you become wild all of a sudden. You know, the law is the law. Well, let's see another one. Ben says, see damage control. How does it make sense that politicians in Nigeria see criticism as being an enemy? And that's the truth. And that's the truth. Well, let's see, we have one more tweet. Mr. Neo Anderson says, I didn't lead thugs. It was just me, my brother, my driver, and a few others. Who are the few others? This one is either mischievous or a blatant liar, he says. Can we go back to the other tweet? Okay, didn't finish that one. Let's see if we can quickly move on with this one. Nothing, okay, a blatant liar or does not understand how to communicate in English language. Oof. Anyway. This one says, nothing you will say that will justify the fact that you molested a young girl. We don't know about molestation.
Well,
or
assaulted is a better word.
For her community.
Assaulted is a better word. Molested
So
gives
off
more like there's a sexual undertone
It
to
has
it.
to do with some form of sexual.
But let's head on to YouTube and see what the comments are saying. Thank you very much, Mokunye Chukwemeka, giving us feedback that the stream is working well now. Thank you very much. And we apologize for the past few days when it's been epileptic. Kudos to our engineers.
Crack engineers from Harvard and MIT.
Yeah.
And Unilag.
Regarding the complaint we had about the roads, Mokunye Chukwemeka says, Olive, don't give excuse for the government. They just lack proper planning. Wiki, as much as I don't like him, made alternative routes for road users when he does any major road. But now coming to this conversation, Mahi says, local government chairman brother needs to be sued. This is an assault. Stop this damage control. Lenin Ekwere says, what chairman did is just a tip of the iceberg. Let state police come on board. Joe, Benga, and Olivia will treat this type of issues every day. I'm not a prophet, but this will happen. Good morning.
I mean, those are my fears. I've never been pro
State police. Really?
Honestly, not even for 1 second, because I know we're not thinking it deeply enough. And the ones you have, it's the system you have. You've not equipped them. You've not given them the necessary tools to make them do their work effectively. And then you want to create new outfit.
My concern.
How long would be the training and the discipline? We're already hearing stories from Ibubiagu, the Amotekons. You, that you are proud, you will not greet somebody. Don't greet state police. You see what they will do to you.
Stop spreading rumors. But on the other hand,
yes.
I never aligned with you until I think it was today's Friday. On Wednesday, I had to sit down and I thought it through and I said, I agree with you. The fear of state police officers being used, especially by those who are high and mighty in society, the chances are 100%.
Because you employed them. Their loyalty will be to you. They feel
I do not agree.
This person.
100%.
I do not agree 100%. I do not agree because
I looked at it.
And my perspective. Wait, hold on. I understand where you both are coming from. I understand the fears of please keep the comments on YouTube coming regarding the story. I'll come back to them. And I understand the concerns that both of you have regarding state police and the concern that Lenin Ekwere has as well regarding state police and the potential of the governors to manipulate them for good. But the first thing I would say is we've had the same system of policing for years. How well has it worked for us? It is often said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Be careful the type of change.
A difference.
It's insanity. Be careful. So what about reforms? Not doing the same thing over and over
again. We can't say that.
Reforming
we can't say that
the
we won't change
system.
We can't say that we won't change it because there's a potential of abuse. What we can say is we do an impact assessment and a full impact assessment.
All states are different.
But hold on. And see
you
what
understand that?
Hold on. And see, okay, there's the potential for governors to manipulate it. Seeing that we already know.
Then on paper they will write it, governors cannot manipulate it.
No,
but
now,
the implementation.
So that's why they would then do a holistic framework that ensures that there are guardrails put to ensure that in the event there's a manipulation, this can happen. This is what the citizens can do. This is how they can bring it to life.
The current police act has all those guardrails.
It has.
Are we not still suffering from abuse?
Yeah,
apparently, let me also mention, you have the police council. You also
Police
have
Service
the
Commission.
Police Service Commission. You have both of that, which also, under the council, you have 36 governors and everybody involved. Like Benga said, the guide or the book that helps the police to operate the way they operate today, you have some of these clauses there. It's there. But yet, nothing shows that these clauses or these directives or these laws are obeyed. My biggest worry, I mean, we're talking, this is a local government chairman. He took his own brother, his driver, and some people, and they went to assault someone, in quotes, allegedly. But imagine if you now have state police. So our fears are a bit, I would say it's
They are not invalid, just so we are clear.
Fair.
I'm not playing down the concerns that you have, because these concerns are valid. And the problem is because power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Small official position that they will give to somebody, they will have 4 police escorts going with them. Small, local, I can't call local government chairman small again, but like,
they are not small. They have their, they have their money now.
Exactly, I can't call them.
Lagos State has 111 billion naira just from VAT.
Remittances.
There's no FAC here too. So Lagos State, imagine how much goes to the local government chairman.
So I completely understand. I completely understand your concerns, but I would say that the benefit of state policing would be, I once had a friend who went to a meeting, like there was an event with an international company, I don't want to call names, and in this community, while they were there, her laptop was stolen. Now, the good thing is, I don't know if I'll call that a good thing, which is sad. They had paid some money to like the orgas in charge of the area before the event happened. So when the laptop got missing and they told the guy, they said, oh, don't worry, we'll tell our orgas. They told the orga said, don't worry, we'll get it. They brought her laptop back.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
They know each other.
I've seen that before.
And that is the advantage of what state policing will do. You know who is who. It's why when they say...
That one is community policing.
Well, state and community policing. But like within the state, it's easier for you. So you are, certain things they're able to make certain moves. Power is decentralized. Because what we have now is too concentrated at the center. Until you get instruction from IGP, you can't do anything. Something is happening, say, I don't have command.
The same way abuses can happen at the lower level without anyone...
About state policing, Mokunye Chukwuemeka says, our politicians are too petty and we use these guys for the wrong motive. But let it come. And he says to Joe that it gets better as the year rolls by. We'll come back to talk about this. And, the final comments regarding those
experimenting
who explore. Yes, we have to experiment. We'll keep trying until we find out what works. Ola Oluwajiboye says, little power and everyone becomes a lord. Terrible. Even an ordinary OAP who committed a traffic offense was threatening to call Gov.
Which OAP is that? As a student of history, I would like to know.
I have no idea who we're speaking about. But let's go on a break. And when we come back from this break, we'll take our next story, which is a story of defection from a seeming major opposition to another party that we're not quite sure where they're headed, and it's really surprising.
I'd also like to touch on the bridge, the Carter Bridge that will be demolished and reconstructed. The money for the CCTV on Third Mainland Bridge can build 3 Carter bridges.
Wow.
With the same amount they budgeted. So African magic.
Somebody's going to collect. We'll be right back after this break. You're welcome to Breakfast Central. Thank you very much for staying with us and keeping the comments coming in. Let's now get into the conversation. Let's get into the conversation. I just saw Mokunye Chukwuemeka's comment. It's a 5 million for consultation. How? Anyway, fresh political shift has emerged ahead of the 2027 elections as the senator representing Bayelsa West, Seriake Dickson, has defected from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the newly registered Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC. Speaking at a press conference at his residence in Abuja on Thursday, the former Bayelsa State governor expressed deep concern over the condition of the PDP, declaring that the once dominant opposition party is now, in his words, in the ICU. Dickson has also accused some PDP governors of weakening the party by aligning with the ruling All Progressives Congress, a development he said has further deepened the party's internal crisis. Following his announcement, he was formally welcomed into the new party's fold and presented with the NDC flag and membership card 001, symbolizing his status as one of the pioneer members of the platform, approved by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Let's take a look.
And I was privileged to have led them in the very first meeting that the late Justice Sabata, God bless his soul, said man, who was appointed as pioneer national chairman of INEC, called for a dialogue with all associations to chart a way forward. That was 1997-98. I was one of the very young people who led an association to participate in those discussions. In those discussions, in the course of those conversations, I came across and interacted with a lot of and I was privileged to have led them in the very first meeting that the late Justice Sabata, God bless his soul, said man, who was appointed as pioneer national chairman of INEC, called for a dialogue with all associations to chart a way forward. That was 1997-98. I was one of the very young people who led an association to participate in those discussions. In those discussions, in the course of those conversations, I came across and interacted with a lot of...
All right.
So congratulations to former Governor Senator Seriake Dickson on INEC's approval of the spanking new NDC, Tearoba, Nigerian Democratic Congress, not ADC, NDC. The Democratic Congress might be similar, but the first letter is very important.
One is Nigeria, one is Africa.
One is Africa.
But
So one is Pan-African.
Well, I wanted to ask, why did that one choose Africa? He's Nigerian now.
Pan-African.
Perhaps after they conquer Nigeria, they can...
They will now move toward that.
Okay, they will spread it.
They will spread
Africa
it
first.
across.
Okay, so it's a Pan-African
Political party.
Yes.
Okay.
And the advantage of starting a new party is that, you know, it will have less shenanigans. I don't think the courts have seen their name yet, because the other parties, one day in court, the other day outside court, then you go back to court, no internal wranglings, it's all kumbaya. So for young and aspiring politicians, if you're looking for a platform, you might want to try the NDC. The more the merrier. And what do you think their chances are in 2027, Olive?
Well, honestly...
Because there are Nigerians that are fed up with the establishment parties and feel, you know, they're the same politicians, so they might want to give NDC a chance. Who knew that the Labour Party would emerge as a third force in 2020?
Real
so
true.
Maybe the NDC might just be that party that people will run to after they've missed out on their tickets.
Let me say it here clearly, so that Nigerians would clock it. Let me use that word for a borrow from Gen Z. You never can tell. The NDC could end up having one of the strongest candidates come 2027. And how do I mean? I put out a tweet 4 weeks ago, or a month plus, and I had mentioned that now that the Labour Party has solved its own crisis internally, even though we hear that there's a fresh crisis that just brewed yesterday, is it rife for Mr. Gregory Peter Obi to go back to the party?
After the convention,
seeing that,
we would see more movement.
Wait now, wait, be patient, listen. Seeing that the ADC has so many actors, Atiku is not backing down. He's doing his own internal tour. He's having conversations with different people. He was at what state recently? He said he's not backing down. He's going full throttle. He's going for that seat. So it means the chances are slim. Now, on the back heel of the newly reviewed election or electoral reform laws, the time left is very short for political parties. That's one. Secondly, they've changed from, members and so on to make selections on who they want. So there's a lot that's changed, which kind of like puts Mr. Peter Gregory Obi's chances to be very slim in the ADC. Have you seen the campaign of Mr. Rotimi Amici? He has started. The graphics are circulating. He's saying he's the future.
Yeah, but he stands a chance.
So where am I going with all of this? The NDC might just end up saying, Mr. Peter, can you think clearly? We're here for you. We're fresh. If it's not working there, can you quickly come here? Because he has a short time. If he doesn't move between now and when the primaries will start, he can't move again. He's lost out. But then again, we'll leave it open.
So now I think before I go to YouTube to take, please drop your comments and your thoughts about this. Seriake Dickson wields some measure of influence. He still has influence in Bayelsa State. Yes, Duyediri is still the governor from the People's Democratic Party, but Seriake Dickson wields a great level of influence. And establishing a new political party months to the election does a number of things. One, it positions him as a man who can stand on his own, a man who's maybe trying to test his political popularity. But the success of the NDC will be largely dependent on a number of factors because, as you know, politics is not a one-man business. There has to be funding. There has to be offices across the nation. There has to be, it's not something that will be done in silos or in isolation. So a huge determination of the success of the party will be largely dependent on who choose to follow him. Will there be big figures that will move with him? Have there been conversations that have happened behind the scenes that we're unaware of that will start to play out in the coming weeks? So if we start to see governors, senators, and key political figures moving to the NDC, then you know that it's a party to watch out for. This is also an indictment on the PDP. With every passing day, it would seem that many are losing faith in the ability of the party to stand as a viable opposition. Recall that the APC also started like this. Little parties of, little communities of people who came together like a coalition of some sort that has become the APC. The ADC is the coalition that we currently are seeing, but whether or not that will be the actual third force in 2027 election, I guess we'll have to wait and find out. If the NDC can position itself that it would have key political, we've seen the movements to the APC. If we see similar movements like we saw to the APC and to the ADC, if we see them happen within the NDC, then that could really, really change the ball for how politics is played. Also, it might be a strategic positioning for Bayelsa State. Knowing that Seriake Dickson still wields a huge level of influence in the state, it might be a move to split the votes in the state. If the key figures in the state move with him, then that will determine the PDP's, it would shake the PDP stronghold, might shake the PDP stronghold in Bayelsa State. But like this, they always say, time will tell. Let's take comments on YouTube. I'll head to X and then maybe come back to YouTube. Ibisiki says, I have a sneaky feeling that Peter Obi won't get the ADC ticket, and he knows. I opine that he has a well-calculated plan thought out. Could Labour Party still give him their ticket?
But he said it on camera that he's not going anywhere, even if he doesn't win the primaries. So let's take his word for it. Why are you putting words in his mouth?
I've said it. I've said clock it. I put it to you here.
Well, he said he's not a man of his own
Mr.
words.
Gregory Obi does not make it in the ADC.
But
he will say "Gwee."
So somebody has shaded one of you. I think it's you, Joe.
Say what?
Said the beard guy, but you're the one that has more beard. The beard guy in the studio seems to be Peter Obi's advisor. Peter Obi is politically naive and will lose out completely. That is Kelvin Lookman. Kelvin, is it Joe or is it Benga?
Joe has beard. I have beard.
Okay, you have beard.
Okay. Keep the comments coming. Let's head to X to see what Nigerians are saying about the move by Seriake Dickson. And our first tweet on X today is, Diri, He says, those of you applauding Henry Seriake Dickson for defecting to NDC should know this. HSD won't that's Henry Seriake Dickson, won't finance any politician's election. NDC is a new party, and you don't expect the party to start throwing money everywhere to secure political posts, Diri says. And next tweet, what are you briefing your, I don't understand this tweet.
What are you briefing? You guys have no sympathy for the suffering of your countrymen.
Well, there's a bit of
What are you briefing?
Okay,
there's a comma
anyway.
or full stop. You guys have...
Sharp guy, man wants to retain his senatorial position but doesn't have the strength to join the Lions in the ADC. But can he stand alone in the NDC, or does he have people that will support him? Someone said, na civil defense party PDs.
What is this?
No, it's Niger Delta Development Commission. Benga Kasim asks, Adetola says, PDP finally laid to rest. May PDP rest in peace. And that's all that we have at this
I really
minute.
can't wait for the PDP to exhaust all legal issues. If it has to go to Supreme Court, let it go to Supreme Court. So we know what is left of the carcass of PDP and know where they can rebuild from. Because it's a tragedy. A country, it's a party that held sway for 16 years to be reduced to what it is today. It doesn't augur well.
It doesn't augur. Oh, it's true. You haven't used augur any well. I went on Henry Seriake Dickson's page on X, and he put out this long press statement. I really like that. He said, I also explained why I could not align with the ADC. I thank the ADC leaders for not succumbing to the pressures of a one-party state. However, I am yet to clearly understand their position on some of the fundamental issues and principles that I strongly stand for and believe in. Furthermore, I am not sure if the ADC is a coalition or a collision. But I hope they prove me wrong. ADC leaders are personally known to me. We interact and will continue to do so in furtherance of Nigeria's democracy. And interestingly, if you go to the comment section on his X page where he put out his tweet, he did get a lot of support. The first comment I can see, someone says, I can confirm the NDC is an opposition party to watch out for. It comes from a region capable of funding presidential elections without stress. Another person said, political jingoism, when people hear you, they will think you are a serious person, fighting on the side of the masses. Over the years, I have been watching the politicians from the South. The authority-stealing structure of these people is scientifically superior to those of any other region. One person, Mr. Cheers Ashiwaju Baby, what's his handle name? He said, Seriake Dickson has always been a voice of reason in the Senate. It's a shame as governor he was worse than the APC he criticizes. Left the state worse than he met it. Don't know if Bayelsa is cursed. Small population, too much money, yet poverty everywhere. The final comment I want to take from his ex says, I give you utmost respect for standing by your convictions. Nigeria needs leaders who choose principles over convenience. Wishing you success on this new journey with the NDC. These are some of the comments regarding Seriake Dickson's move to the NDC, which we have shared. But like I did say, let us know your thoughts. Are you in support of this? What do you believe this to be? And do you think that this, of course, has prepared the NDC for the elections? Or rather, do you think they will have enough time between now and January 2027 to be ready for the elections?
Well,
right.
let's wait and see. But I know it's the drama has started, and you can count on us here on News Central. We do have our correspondent and our very efficient team who will be bringing to you updates, even here on Breakfast Central. But one of the biggest stories that's also making the rounds is the fact that the Senate panel has summoned Mile Kyari again, the former NNPC boss, over the 210 trillion naira that went missing.
I thought EFCC and law enforcement were investigating him.
No.
I think we moved past that Senate part.
No, the Senate has called again. There was
No, but
yesterday.
For what reason?
They've called again. There seems to be no update. And just like you mentioned now, I'm also asking, what is the anti-graft agency doing? 210 trillion naira has been highlighted, has been revealed to be missing. It is also during that conversation that the senator in charge of the committee, spearheading the committee, also said that 5 billion naira was also missing. And they've not been able to get that before NNPC changed its name to NNPCL. So what happened to that 5? Where did it go to? So we have a lot in our hands.
Do they audit? Of course, they do audit the accounts of NNPC.
What does that skit say? You say what? we have a lot, but that's one story that we'd like to look at, and that's a story that I think we should also we will focus on in the coming days. But before we move on, guys, I'd like us to go to Akwa Ibom State. There's a story in Akwa Ibom State that we think all Nigerians should hear about. Well, the story has got to do with Akwa Ibom State's 2025 procurement budget, as it were. As we speak now, insiders, especially media houses such as Tracker, of course, from Budget. You also have GST, if I'm right, yes. And then you have Premium Times, have gone deeper to look into the procurement of the Akwa Ibom State government. In 2025, it contained in the approved budget 40,000 naira has been approved per table chair for primary schools based on a 4 million naira allocation for 100 units. So Akwa Ibom is looking at doing 100 units of table and chair for 40,000 naira. I mean, I'm very close to someone who's into furniture. 40,000 naira cannot do table and chair. Except you want to use
in today's Nigeria
based wood.
Termite-based.
Look at that. After you build it, just 2 weeks, termites will finish the wood. That's what they allocated. But take a look at what they did. According to this report from these media agencies, they said 1 billion naira was looked and prepared for the procurement of at least 25,000 seats. 1 billion naira is budgeted rather for SUVs. 1 billion naira budgeted for SUVs. Now they went ahead to break that 1 billion naira down if they were to use that for the school. So 1 billion naira, if you use that for school, at least 25,000 seats to build 25,000 seats. 25,000 seats would not merely furnish a classroom. 25,000 naira rather will not furnish a classroom. Now, where are we going to with all of this information and this news? The point is, the budget for school and the budget for SUV is a far cry. 40,000 naira for table and chair, and then you now have 1 billion naira to purchase cars and vehicles. Is it that the government is vehemently telling Nigerians and people that, listen, education, we don't care.
It's not important.
It's not
important.
important.
Take the back seat.
Healthcare, we don't care.
But SUVs,
you see our car, our office table and chair, you know.
Foreign
our
expenses,
our travel, our holidaying, they are so important than your son's future. That is
that's what we're saying. And then that this is coming from a state like Akwa Ibom, who many will say
that has the highest
as progressive.
allocation.
Yes, with a relatively small population. It's a tragedy. And this tragedy is it permeates all parts of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And next year is an election year. The verdict is out. The people will decide if this is how you want to continue or not.
Let's watch this video, Benga.
It's heartbreaking.
A teacher couldn't hold it again in Akwa Ibom State. She went ahead to do a video to show you in 2026 a state that receives one of the highest federal allocation monthly. Look at what the schools or one of the schools looks like. Take a look.
The state we are here in primary school Ogadinma, Old School Road, here in Uyo. Look at what the children are passing through. This is the chalkboard. The children in school. Look at them here. And our governor is busy telling us that he wants to go and build housing in Abuja estates. But here in the state we have less privilege, that he would have looked into it and see how to help these people out. Look at the children here in school. Look at them. Look at what is happening. This is Akwa Ibom State. The state. Anybody that is going to send this video should send it to mine or directly. Let him come down here and help these children. These are our future generations being suffering. They are all suffering because of teachers. Teachers, look at a teacher here. Look at teacher here. No table, nothing. Look at the ceiling. Look at the whole place, how it is. It's a shame to a state.
Heartbreaking footage. And I'm sure, like clockwork, that woman would be summoned and persecuted for bringing out that story. The state will term it as an embarrassment to the state government. But what is really an embarrassment that in 2026, schools, primary schools, the foundation, elementary schools, the foundation for kids, their environment also matters. The quality of the foundational education they get will determine their trajectory in life. And look at that, coming from an
is it not what made what's the name of that man in the northern influencer build a school? Because of the state of education and the dilapidated structures that students had to study in. We hear our parents and their parents talk about the quality of education that they had. And is it not a shame that they had better quality of education then than we can find now? That students are going to school and sitting on the ground, and that when it rains, it's such a terrible situation for students. And this is a country where, again, we have lavish spending, where they need to go on medical vacation, medical tourism. You know, the people at the helm of affairs are hardly around. They're traveling, they need to check one medical situation or the other, they are going abroad to fix it. And I think that we should continue to embarrass. I know that shame is missing in the dictionary of most politicians, but let's continue to call them out. Let's continue to embarrass them this way. It's the same way that man in the north made a video of the hospital. And again, he posted and he was persecuted for embarrassing the government. But let's continue to embarrass them. The question is, and I think that the citizens have the power, but it's just that it's unfortunate that we've resigned our fates to just, you know, the politicians with politicians, they will do what they will do. But the power is in the citizens. I say this over and over again. The citizens have the power, but there's such a deep resignation that I can empathize with and that I can understand, but I don't want to encourage. Until we get angry enough to hold these people to account, you see this thing? Olive, it will keep happening over and over.
And we don't have to wait for election day or election.
No. Let me shock people. Premium Times did another research. Now, on March 1st, if you recall, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Governor Moeno, had a prayer meeting on Sunday, March 1st, in the government house. There he said that the state, Akwa Ibom State, has stopped receiving oil derivation revenue since September 2025. However, what he said is quite different from the Federation accounts that was published by the Accountant General's office. What
was released versus what he said.
Versus what he said. So what I said versus what is being true. Now, during the prayer house, the governor said that he stopped receiving derivation revenue since September 2025. However, Premium Times went ahead to, get the fact disbursement, and it shows that between September and December 2025, Akwa Ibom received 119.82 billion naira. 119.82 billion naira as its 13% derivation allocation, excluding additional derivation related refunds shared among oil producing states. Akwa Ibom is an oil producing state and receives one of the highest, followed by Rivers and the like. So September allocation, the documents prove that you collected the 13%. Now remember that Akwa Ibom also said that we're going to build a multi-billion edifice in Lagos. You're also looking at doing that in Abuja. And so when you wonder,
housing estate,
what is going on in your own state?
Your backyard. Students are not learning in conducive environments. What should you prioritize?
It hurts, Benga, to note that for those of us who grew up and we were those who missed out on, we enjoyed seemingly a good taste of education.
Compared to what is existing
compared to what our parents had, because our parents would tell you,
no, we had to. I mean, my parents had to pay through their noses to give me the quality of education they had.
That's what I'm saying. Our parents enjoyed so good educational system that, whenever they finish, you're allowed to travel abroad, you do this, you come back. We enjoy just a little taste of that.
Snip of the ice.
But our children and the kids you saw in that video rolling on the floor, there's no, it just shows that these ones, there's no hope. And how, as a governor, how do you sleep at night having this kind of money? And you just look at the kids and say, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. They'll find their way.
And yet they say that they're getting more money now than they did before. But these are part of the achievements of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. They will say the governments are getting more money than they did in previous times. But we'll continue to highlight this. These are the wake-up conversations that we've had this morning. But please keep your comments coming on YouTube, where we're streaming live. News Central TV Live is our handle, and you can react to any of the stories so we can take your comments as well. We'll get into our top stories and share with you what the top stories are this morning on Breakfast Central.